Yo, it's your boy. It is your boy, King Titan X or Nova Titan, depending on which channel you see this video on, and I don't have much to say here. Just remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe to help with the algorithm. Besides that, I don't have much else to say, so let's get on with the video. Oh, well, I do have one thing actually. I'm going to be implementing like goals into my videos from now on, or well, so far, like a series like Naruto that I know doesn't do well. Let's see if we can get like 10 likes for the video. If not, let's try and get like a decent amount of views. Like I've put up I put out the announcement already, and I'm just saying this for the ones that haven't read the announcements, that just don't read like community posts or something for whatever reason. Anyways, as soon as Team 7 met Tazuna, they immediately disliked the bridge builder. He complained about their appearances and underestimated their abilities. He especially berated Naruto, mentioning the fact he was short and wore bright colors, something unbecoming of a ninja. Naruto growled at the man and pumped out his claws in order to give a bit of an intimidation factor. This seemed to work as Tazuna took a step back from Naruto. He recognized those claws. Those were the famed claws of the Namikaze clan. He heard many stories about how ferocious they could be, especially the younger ones. He took back his claims from earlier, and Naruto smirked, drawing back his claws. Tazuna sighed in relief before Team 7 gathered around the bridge builder. They left the Hokage's office and followed the bridge builder back to the Land of Waves. Now, along the way, Naruto would encounter a puddle. He wouldn't find anything wrong with it at first, but Kakashi realized that the location in which they were in, it hadn't rained recently, so it didn't make much sense for there to be a puddle there. Suddenly, two beings emerged from the puddle, the famed demon brothers of the Mist Village. They tried to pull a fast one on Team 7 via barraging them with attacks in order to end Tazuna in a proficient manner, but they didn't account for the specific team that they'd be dealing with. Naruto, unlike Kanon, wasn't afraid to fight. He immediately formed a devilish grin on his face as he unsheathed his claws and ran at the brothers. Sasuke ran alongside Naruto. Naruto was too swift for either of the brothers to hit him with their poisonous gauntlets, though. He slid underneath the chain that connected the brothers and stabbed his claws into their thighs. This was able to disorient them. They were beginning to lose a lot of blood and tried to fix that issue, but Sasuke appeared in front of them. He quickly knocked them out. Kakashi restrained them and complimented the two for being able to fight so efficiently as Genin. I hate this word. They patched up the brothers' wounds, courtesy of Naruto, in order to make sure they didn't bleed out. They had valuable information they could give to Team 7 after all. For example, what were two Chunin doing attacking some Genin on a C-rank mission? While waiting for the brothers to wake up, Kakashi turned to Tazuna. He questioned whether this was really a C-rank mission. He wanted answers. He cornered the bridge builder and interrogated him about what were the true circumstances of the mission. Tazuna began to sweat before sighing. He confessed that the Land of Waves had become poor because of a man by the name of Gato, who essentially was a shipping tycoon, and that the only way to bring it out of its poor, stricken state would be through Tazuna building a bridge to the mainland. The issue with doing that, though, was the fact that it would also effectively cause Gato's empire to collapse, hence why they were sending out shinobi forces. Kakashi would think about what to do next. He looked at Tazuna and the rest of Team 7 for a second before sighing. He informed Tazuna that they would continue on with the mission and The whole thing about this being a higher grade mission than what Tazuna informed the Hidden Leaf would be kept a secret for now. Tazuna nodded, thanking Kakashi for being willing to continue on with the mission. The Demon Brothers were knocked out for a while, and Team 7 decided to just leave the two. They already got the info from Tazuna, so they didn't need the brothers. But they did remove the gauntlets of the brothers so they wouldn't be able to easily escape. The team would eventually encounter Zabuza via having a giant sword being swung at them. Now, most of the things here will go similar to in canon, with everyone ducking and Kakashi revealing his Sharingan after realizing who they will be facing. Kakashi ordered for Team 7 to stand back and protect Tazuna, but this is where things will go a bit differently, as Naruto wasn't as great of a listener here. Well, he never was, to be honest, because as soon as Kakashi was trapped in Zabuza's water prison, Naruto went on the offensive. Kakashi told them to run, but Naruto managed to drag Sasuke into the fight as well. Naruto formed several shadow clones who each pumped out 6 bone claws. They charged at Zabuza, hoping they'd get the one-up on him, but he would swing his executioner's blade at them. The clones didn't easily disperse here. They were more durable than the canon ones because of Naruto's stronger bloodline here. The Namikaze were a prominent clan with a multitude of strengths here after all. Some of the clones did disperse, but others held on and grabbed at Zabuza's sword. Zabuza blinked in surprise. He wasn't expecting for these clones to have much strength behind them, but he realized he had to put more effort here and swung with more force here. He managed to lift the sword even with the Naruto clones grabbing the blade, and the strength was enough to cause him to poof. Naruto already expected this and looked over to Sasuke. He pulled out a shuriken and handed it to Sasuke. They discussed their plan, and Sasuke nodded before flinging the shuriken at Zabuza. Sure, the man was able to grab it, but he was unprepared for a second shuriken to appear. He dodged it, but he was shocked to the core as the second shuriken changed its form into that of Naruto. Zabuza had tried leaping over that second shuriken, but when it formed into Naruto, he pumped out his claws and dashed at Zabuza before slashing the man in his back. Zabuza howled in pain as his back was one of his more tender areas, and he was beginning to bleed profusely. He was forced to release the shackles on Kakashi as he went to attack Naruto. He couldn't move properly here though, and Naruto was swift. Surprisingly swift actually. He wasn't running circles around him or anything, but for a genin, he was able to dodge his attacks pretty decently, although he came close. Naruto either dodged or blocked Zabuza's attacks via his claws and roared at him before going back on the offensive himself. He tried stabbing the claws into Zabuza's chest, effectively bringing him one step closer to death. But by dodging this, he didn't realize he left himself wide open for an attack by Zabuza. The man swung his sword at Naruto in a downward slash, aiming at Naruto's midsection, but Kakashi refused to let this happen. He'd lost many people dear to him already, and he wanted to make sure Naruto was safe. He couldn't let his master's son die here. He stepped in once he gathered up enough chakra to form a water jutsu that hit Zabuza in the back. The sudden increase in stinging pain caused the man to lose his focus, and as a result, he only made a relatively shallow cut in Naruto's midsection. It was enough to make him bleed and hiss in pain, but as soon as a gash across his abdomen was made, it already began to heal. Zabuza noticed this and he began to go slack-jawed. He envied that brat. He went to commence his battle against Kakashi, but he couldn't focus properly here because Naruto threw a kunai at Zabuza's leg. He ran up at Zabuza, ready to launch another attack, but the man reflected it with his blade. He cursed Naruto and focused his gaze on Kakashi. Kakashi told Naruto to leave the fight to him now. He would be handling the rest of the fight and that Naruto did plenty already. There was a stare down between Kakashi and Zabuza before they went at each other again. Zabuza's wounds here made it more difficult for him to fight effectively against Kakashi, but he still gave it his all. Unfortunately for him, he was just at too much of a disadvantage to really do any substantial damage to the copy ninja of the Hidden Leaf. The fight would end with Kakashi about to deal the final blow to the demon of the Hidden Mist, only for a newcomer to join the battle and bombard Zabuza's neck with several senbon needles. This gave off the appearance that a man was dead, and Kakashi immediately started asking questions. The newcomer would explain that they were simply a hunter nin from Kirigakure, assigned a mission to take care of Zabuza. Naruto caught their scent and would remember it in case he ever met again, since he found them to be a bit suspicious. Kakashi also found it conspicuous, but decided to leave it for now. He let them go with Zabuza's supposed corpse, and he was pleased with the ending of this fight. He applauded Naruto and Sasuke for helping him against Zabuza, although he berated them a little bit as well for not listening to his instructions. He planned to continue escorting Tazuna back to his home. I don't know where I went wrong with that, but he fell unconscious due to using up too much of his chakra thanks to the Sharingan being in effect during his fight. When he woke up, he found himself in the bed. He figured out the team carried him here after escorting Tazuna. He thought back to the events with Hunter and began to point out all the holes within their claim. Everything they did was unbecoming of a hunter and making him believe that this person was actually in operation with Zabuza and simply knocked him out instead of actually killing him. Perhaps to quickly get him out of there and work on medical attention, because Zabuza, if he didn't die to Kakashi, would die to blood loss thanks to the wounds inflicted on him via Naruto. If he was still alive, then he would need to train Team 7 to prepare themselves for their return. He would teach them the chakra control like in canon, except that Naruto has a bit less trouble here, and actually discovers that with enough focus, he could actually have a claw pop out of each of his feet. Yes, I'm giving him X23 abilities. He found this to be kind of neat, although he preferred all his claws to come out from his fists. It just felt more natural to him. While training continued, Naruto ended up finding himself working on his stamina by running in the woods. He was running for a good while now before bumping into a fairly attractive girl. He fell on top of her but lifted himself up off of her. He apologized, speaking on how he wasn't looking where he was going. He wasn't as aggressive towards this person since they were a stranger and didn't appear to have any connection to Konoha until he took a whiff of their scent. It was familiar, and he began connecting the dots. Long black hair and a similar body shape to the hunter nin from the other day. Naruto ended up bringing this up, which actually surprised Haku. They tried to deny it, but Naruto noticed the shift in their posture. Their tone stayed the same, but he could tell that they tensed up as if they were ready to fight at any moment. Naruto began to defuse the situation, as he wasn't sure how strong they were, and he wasn't too interested in having to fight a fairly attractive female shinobi right now. He complimented Haku on their appearance, causing them to blush a little. They tried to act tough and mislead Naruto into believing that they were a male, but Naruto caught their bluff as he felt something soft press against his chest when he fell on top of her. Haku cursed herself for the fact that Naruto was right. Naruto then struck up a conversation with the older girl. It eventually delved into them talking about their hopes and dreams. Naruto explained how he wanted to become the next Hokage, while Haku wanted to protect the person dearest to her, the person that gave meaning to their life. After all, when it came to trying to protect someone, it was as if their strength multiplied. Naruto could sort of relate to this statement, as there were people like Aruka and the ramen guy who helped him throughout his life, especially against the other villagers who used to constantly try to attack him at every other moment. Haku eventually left, but Naruto now had her scent locked down. He began marking the forest with his claws so he could remember his tracks. He was going to inform Kakashi about his encounter with a supposed hunter that also went by the name Haku. Once he told Kakashi, he told the rest of Team 7 to stop with the training for today, as they would need all the energy for tomorrow in case Zabuza appeared. The next day, they escorted Tazuna over to work on the bridge. Something was wrong though. Tazuna's helpers had been attacked. Team 7's hearts began to race as a veil of mist began to cover the area. A water clone tried to strike at Sasuke, but the Uchiha was quickly able to subdue them. From there, the real Zabuza and masked Haku revealed themselves. Naruto growled, seeing that Zabuza was still alive, and popped out his claws. He pointed his claws over to Haku and told her to remove her mask, as there was no point in hiding it anymore. He already knew it was her under the mask, like he hinted towards just yesterday. He wasn't an idiot, and the only reason he didn't fight back then was because of his uncertainties at the time. But this sealed that she was a threat. He was with his teammates, so he was prepared to fight. Haku obliged and removed her mask. Sakura was jealous seeing Haku's face because of just how much more attractive they were than her. She wanted to call her out, thinking that the girl would try and steal her Sasuke, but Naruto felt she was about to say something stupid, so he pointed his claws towards her as well. Not a peep from you, Sakura. Not right now. Honestly, it's a very serious situation right now, so let your actions speak here instead. Sakura gulped but nodded. It was time to show that the training really did pull off. And that's all I got for right now. Alright, Titan Clan, it's your boy King Titan X. Out! Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.